Hourly News on SLCJ Radio. A very good evening and welcome to your Hourly News here on SLCJ Radio. News is presented by Sheha Amit, Avajita Edrisurya, Minaza Hassan and Theruni Karunaratna. We start off with your top stories this hour. In local news, 2 sergeants and 1 constable arrested in relation to murder of maid. Advisory for heavy showers in the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces. Crop damage due to dry weather exceeds 60,000 acres. Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe makes the list of the world's 21 top A-grade central bank governors. New fuel prices affect prices across transport sector. In international news, India launches Aditya L1 rocket to explore the sun. Singapore elects Dharman Shanmugaratnam, descendant of Sri Lankan Tamils, as president. Former top US diplomat Bill Richardson dies aged 75. In sports news, Asia Cup 2023, Sri Lanka is past Bangladesh. Ronaldo celebrates 850th career goal in Al Nassr win. And in entertainment news, Barbie surpasses Harry Potter as Warner Brothers' most successful global release. Taylor Swift's tour enters her movie theatre era as she brings record-breaking concert to the big screen. Local news.
In your top story, the Criminal Investigations Department arrested 2 sergeants and a constable in relation to the murder of a maid, Rajan Rajeswari, who was beaten to death while in police custody. Rajeswari, who was the domestic help of a Sri Lankan media producer, was taken into police custody over a complaint of theft at her employer's residence at the Borella bus stop on the 11th of May 2023. While being interrogated by the Valikada police, Rajeswari became unwell and showed signs of difficulty in breathing. She was taken into the Colombo National Hospital that evening where she succumbed to her death. A compensation of 10,000 rupees was given to the husband of Rajeswari from the police for her murder, mentioned human rights activist and lawyer Senaka Pereira. Legal procedures were not followed in the arrest of Rajeswari. The police took her into custody without filing a complaint, mentioned Senaka Pereira. A team of lawyers, including human rights activist Senaka Pereira from the Committee for Protecting Rights of Prisoners, are currently handling the case. Now moving on, the United Professional Container Carriers Association says that the container transportation charges are expected to increase in relation to the increase in fuel prices. Its chairman, Vimalasena Varnasinghe, says that the container transportation fees will be increased by 12.5% from next Monday. Meanwhile, bus fares will also be increased by 4.01% from midnight tonight. There will be no change in the minimum fee of 30 rupees. The Director General of the National Transport Commission, Dr. Nilan Miranda, says that the price increase will apply to luxury and semi-luxury bus services as well. Meanwhile, the All Island School Children Transport Association has decided not to revise school children's transport fees. However, the chairman of the All Island Inter-District School Children Transportation Association, NMK Harisandra Padmasiri, says that the school student transportation fee will be increased by 5% for inter-district travel. The All Ceylon Fishing Federation says that the increase in fuel prices will severely affect the fishing industry. The national convener of the federation, Ratna Gamage, says that the small-scale fisherman who uses kerosene spends a daily average of around 20,000 rupees on fuel, and this amount will now become unbearable with the sudden increase in fuel prices. In more local news, Sri Lanka's Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe has made the list of the world's 21 top A-grade central bank governors of the Global Finance magazine. The central banker report cards, which are published annually by the Global Finance since 1994, grade the central bank governors of 101 key countries and territories, including the European Union, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the Bank of Central African States, and the Central Bank of West African States. Grades are based on an A to F scale for success in areas such as inflation control, economic growth goals, currency stability, and interest rate management. A represents an excellent performance, down through F for outright failure. In local weather news, the Department of Meteorology predicts that showers will occur at times in the western, suburban, southern, central, and northwestern provinces. Heavy showers of about 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, suburban, and southern provinces. The National Building Research Organization says that the landslide warning notice issued to the 4 districts in view of the prevailing weather conditions will remain in effect until 12 noon on the 3rd of September. Now, although the southwestern parts of the island are currently experiencing heavy rains, dry weather continues in the eastern, northern, northwestern, north central, over, and central provinces. 279,892 people are affected by these ongoing dry weather conditions. The Disaster Management Center said that 20 districts in the country have been affected by the dry spell. Meanwhile, the Agriculture and Agrarian Insurance Board says that more than 60,000 acres of paddy field have been destroyed by the dry weather. The Kurunegala district has been affected the most by the arid weather conditions. Its chairman, M.B. Veerasekara, said that crop damage assessments are expected to be completed by the 15th of September.
International news. Now moving on to international news, India launched its first endeavour to study the sun when the rocket carrying the Aditya L1 spacecraft lifted off shortly before noon on the 2nd of September. The rocket rode aloft at 11:50 hours from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Andhra Pradesh. It will take 109 days to reach its target position, 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth, the closest that it can go, where it will be able to maintain its orbit without being captured by the sun's gravity and pulled to destruction. The Earth is 151 million kilometers from the sun. On board the Aditya L1 are scientific instruments that will conduct long-range studies of solar activity. Its mission is expected to last 6 months. The Indian Space Research Organization, or the ISRO, is fresh from its success last week in India becoming the first nation to land a spacecraft in the south polar region of the moon. In more news overseas, the first non-Chinese to win a presidential election, 66-year-old Dharman Shanmugaratnam, a former deputy prime minister and candidate for the ruling party, surged to a landslide victory in the Singapore presidential election with 70.4% of the vote. He is a fourth-generation Singaporean of 19th century Sri Lankan Tamil origin. He is the son of Emeritus Professor K. Shanmugaratnam, a pathologist and cancer researcher who is regarded as the father of pathology in Singapore and who founded the Singapore Cancer Registry as well as a number of global organizations dedicated to cancer research. He handily defeated the other 2 contenders who received votes from 15% and 14% of the Chinese population respectively. Former U.S. Ambassador to the UN Bill Richardson has died aged 75. Serving under President Bill Clinton, he won admiration for his commitment to securing the release of U.S. citizens detained around the world. He continued that work out of politics, last year traveling to Moscow to discuss the release of detained basketball star Brittany Griner. His success in office sparked a renewed interest in national politics, and in the run-up to the 2008 presidential election, he launched a long-shot bid for the Democratic Party's nomination. In 2021, he helped broker a deal for the release of American journalist Danny Fenster from a Myanmar prison. Previously, he helped secure the release of U.S. nationals detained in North Korea, and he also held talks with Pyongyang diplomats in efforts to calm tensions between the 2 Koreas. U.S. President Joe Biden led tributes to Richardson, who he called a patriot and true original. Entertainment news.
Greta Gerwig's Barbie has secured yet another box office landmark as it sets an impressive new box office record, passing the Warner Brothers' Harry Potter. The doll Triumph-directed feature starring Margot Robbie, released in July, charted on worldwide charts within its first week of release and maintained its position for 5 weeks since its first screening. On the 29th of August, the film passed $1.342 billion at the global box office, surpassing Warner Brothers' previous top-grossing film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 by J.K. Rowling. On the 27th of August, Barbie's revenue in the United States reached 592.8 million US dollars, while its global total was 745.5 million US dollars. It is anticipated to surpass the 600 million US dollar milestone in the US this week, making history as the 13th film to do so. The film also claimed its position as the official highest-grossing title of the year in North American cinemas after surpassing the earnings of the Super Mario Bros. Movie released in April. Within 3 weeks in theaters, Barbie has been ranked the highest-grossing film by a single female director with global sales of 1.3 billion US dollars on global charts, making Gerwig the highest-grossing female director of all time at the domestic box office, as well as the highest-grossing female director of a live-action movie worldwide. Responding to this global milestone, Warner Brothers Motion Pictures Group co-CEOs Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi shared their pride in a statement. They said that reaching this outstanding achievement was a reminder of the power of moviegoers from countries in every corner of the globe coming together to further the celebration of an iconic character that has entertained viewers for so many decades. Taylor Swift stated via Instagram post that she is ready to bring her Eras Tour to a movie theater near you starting this October. Taylor claims that the Eras Tour was the most meaningful electric experience of her life, and she is overjoyed to announce its first screening. The anti-hero singer added that starting on October 13th, the concert film is coming to theaters in North America and tickets are already on sale. Her announcement was accompanied by the trailer for the concert film, which was captured at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles during her 6-night residency at the final venue of the singer's hometown earlier this month. The film, directed by Sam Wrench, has an approximate 2-hour and 45-minute runtime. The director is also known for directing other major live event and concert documentaries for artists such as Billie Eilish, Lizzo, and Jennifer Lopez's halftime Netflix documentaries. Swift has been on her record-breaking Eras Tour, her first tour since March 2018. Along the way, she's been credited for boosting local economies in the United States and is on track to become the highest-grossing tour of all time. The Eras Tour concert film is a likely welcome announcement for the struggling movie theater industry, which has taken a hit due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Blank Space singer is currently on the international leg of her Eras Tour and heads to Argentina in November this year.
Sports News.
Charit Asalanka and Sadira Samaravikrama slammed 50s as Sri Lanka defeated Bangladesh by 5 wickets in their first Asia Cup 2023 game on Thursday the 31st of August. Sri Lanka chased down a total of 165 runs against Bangladesh in 39 overs in Pallekele. Earlier, the host bundled out Bangladesh for 164 runs thanks to Matisha Patiran's 4-wicket haul. The visitors posted a poor total despite Najmul Hussain Shanto's 89 runs off 122 balls. Cristiano Ronaldo celebrated his 850th career goal as Al Nassr won 5-1 at Al Hazm in Saudi Pro League on Saturday. Ronaldo scored his 6th goal in his last 3 games and claimed 2 assists as Al Nassr recorded a 3rd straight league victory. After Al Nassr lost their first 2 league games this term, last season's runners-up who have scored 14 goals in the last 3 games are now just 4 points off leaders Al Hilal. Ronaldo is the league's top scorer this season with 6 goals, 1 ahead of former Liverpool forward May.
That is all the news for this week, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Join us next week for another update.
Hourly News on SLCJ Radio.